Now we're at that situation. Nobody else has indicated who hasn't already contributed, so I'll call on Assembly Member Prince. Did you want to sum up or contribute?
Contribute.
Yeah, please do.
Shortly. Thank you. May I say, as a vegetarian of many years long-standing, I'm also up for hummus too.
Well, you're woke as well, then, Peter.
Well, could be. OK, Broadmead Bridge. Unfortunately, I cannot allow the Tory lies to this Assembly to go unchallenged. It is an absolute lie that when I was leader of Redbridge that I did nothing about Broadmead Bridge. So let's do a little bit of history lesson. First of all, you need to get your dates right. LBR was first notified there were issues with Broadmead Bridge in 2013. So, as the leader, I immediately authorised remedial works to be done to the bridge. I also commissioned Atkins to conduct a full review and inspection of the concrete around the bridge so we knew what the extent of the damage would be. Unfortunately, early in 2014, I was no longer the leader of Redbridge, so the mantle was passed over to Labour. So for someone to claim that when I was leader of Redbridge Council, I did nothing about Broadmead Bridge is an absolute lie, and I'm calling it out. I'm afraid, really, this Assembly should be better than pathetic, childish political point scoring by members of the Tory group. Can I also just touch on Gallows Corner as well? Because again, unfortunately, the Speaker didn't get to the nub of the problem. It is not TfL's fault that the works have been extended. It is, in fact, because Essex and Suffolk Water have had a major problem with the waterworks in that area. They had a plan, a sensible plan, I would argue, to do the works they needed to do at the same time as the bridge was being, or the flyover was being repaired. Unfortunately, and this is where they are at fault, they did not do a proper survey around the area, and when they started to do the works that they wanted to do, they discovered there were issues that they hadn't foreseen, and ergo they've had to completely redesign the works that they wanted to do. And this is why it has resulted in a massive delay. But I will call them out, because in the meetings that I've had with them, they promised they would do a three-phase work on the Gallows Corner, and each phase would allow certain and limited traffic movements. But now they've reneged on that, and they're only going to actually open or finish their works in April this year. I think maybe it may go on a little bit longer than that, but certainly by May. So I would really ask the leader of the Conservatives to make sure that her minions get their facts right, please, before they start making accusations against me and my party, and indeed telling lies to this Assembly. Thank you.
There will be no apology to the biggest liar in this Assembly.
Assembly member, that language is not appropriate. Neither, we should not be calling anyone liar.
Chair, if I can be accurate, I didn't call anybody a liar. I said it was a lie that I had done nothing whilst I was leader of. So I'm afraid the only person who has spoken incorrectly is the Assembly member opposite.
Right. Well,
I did not name anybody. I was very clear.
Now,
so I actually demand an apology.
Well, you can demand all you want. It's up to the member as to whether or not they apologise. Now, there are a number of people, because there's general confusion of people who've seconded or are going to sum up on each motion. Is there anybody else who want to contribute on a general point? Assembly Member
I'll just
yes.
be very quick, Chairman. If I can go on bus drivers, completely agree with you. That's got to be sorted out. Unfortunately, the cost implications in your amendment, whatever we're calling them, seem exorbitant. We haven't had time to look at that. But, I mean, of course, we all need to worry about bus drivers and their convenience. The front counters, of course, we're all calling for those to be reopened. It's also a case of trust and confidence in the police. If you can actually go and talk to police officers, and I'll have a particular shout out for Harrow. One of the ones, the one in Pinner, is actually manned by people doing it for nothing, for volunteers. So I really don't understand that, and they're actually keeping the police station open, so there are police on site anyway. So I really don't understand that one. But anyway, very supportive of keeping front counters open. Caroline, sorry, Assembly Member Russell, I absolutely applaud your constant calling for more public toilets. I always have supported you, I always will. Unfortunately, what it's wrapped up in isn't necessarily what we agree on, but that's specific, you know that. And then coming to our amendment, freezing council tax is the beginning of an attempt to actually help people with the cost of living, because we do care about that. The Mayor seems so happy just to put it up year upon year upon year. For his 10 years, the only time he didn't was the first year. There's a massive increase over, I think it's 85%. The council, his precept has gone up by, which is one hell of a lot in 10 years. £15 million for potholes, that would actually not only help motorists and people that use the road, cyclists, pedestrians, but it would also help the councils who just simply can't keep up with them. So that's great. And of course, £1.5 million towards the rape gangs. Of course I want to see it. And Assembly Member Ahmed said that the Labour position is that you'd rather see what happened with the 9,000 historic cases. But that's right, isn't it? They're historic cases. What about the girls and boys that are being raped at the moment? Do they have to wait behind those historic cases being looked at? Do we have to allow paedophiles to carry on now, just so that we can look at 9,000 historic cases? We need to be looking after these kids now that are being raped. We need to be saying now, let's put a stop to this. And if any of you think I'm going to give up mentioning this at every bloody opportunity I can, think on. This is so important. There are girls and boys being raped in London at the moment, and you, Labour group, are wanting to see what happens to the 9,000 historic cases before you'll actually put something in place. Think about it. Think about it, because, Chair, I'm going to call for a recorded vote. I feel so strongly about this. It's £1.5 million, and the Mayor has already put £29 million aside for violence against women and girls. Why can't it come out of that? And the Mayor has got a nearly £24 billion budget. I want to put a stop to these poor kids getting raped. You've got to ask yourself, do you? Because if you do, then at least vote for that particular amendment. Thank you.
Very good.